What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. So in today's video, I want to be talking about Douglas Bullet. Now, Douglas Bullet is currently available on the Sugo Fest. I know many people out there have already sent me tweets, and I've seen some comments about some of the pulls that some of you guys have been getting, and congratulations to some of you, because some of you guys have been getting some crazy pulls. So, of course, we're going to be talking about Douglas Bullet here. Now, the main reason why I want to make this video is because I want to show you guys how good this character actually is. So there are quite a few clips that we'll go through in this video today, but this banner right here, 210 rainbow gems will give you guaranteed Bullet. You will not come across a better deal than this in a long time in One Piece Treasure Cruise. Now, of course, the French anniversary is going to be arriving at the end of July. There might be a really cool event surrounding that. There might be an insane Sugo Fest. We just don't know yet. But what I do know is that Douglas Bullet for 210 rainbow gems is an absolute bargain, and if you aren't getting that, then I feel like you're kind of missing out. Now, of course, not everyone is going to have 210 rainbow gems to spare. I completely understand that. But what I am saying is that if you do have 210 rainbow gems on your account, and you don't have Douglas Bullet, and then I would also say as well, if you don't have some of these other characters on this recommended list, this is going to be a good banner to go for. Definitely worth it. As for Stampede Luffy, I don't know, probably not too much in comparison to Douglas Bullet. Douglas Bullet definitely sees way more play in the future compared to Stampede Luffy. But, you know, once again, if you've got a crap load of gems on your account and you don't have Stampede Luffy and some of the other rate boosted units on this banner, which are actually really good, then potentially you could go for this as well. Either way, what I do want to do, though, is I want to talk about Douglas Bullet himself and just talk about his effects, and then we'll get into the showcase itself. So Douglas Bullet is a strength fighter-driven, amazing stats across the board. He will eventually get a limit break expansion. I believe it's supposed to arrive next month, so that's going to be awesome. He goes up even higher in terms of his attack and HP. You know, after his limit break expansion, he literally has like over 6,000 HP. He has massive amounts of attack, like 2,300-ish, 2,400-ish. It is insane. And his recovery is obviously really low. But his captain effect, and this is the main reason why he is as good as what he is his captain effect is one of the best captain effects in the game. Like, literally, on paper, if we're just talking about captain effects, he probably has like top 3 best captain effects in the game. It is crazy good. So it boosts the attack of strength, quick, and int characters by 4 times, 1.2 HP on top of that, boosts his own attack by 4.75 times instead, and then also will make strength, quick, and int slots beneficial to strength, quick, and int characters. So lots of matching orbs, lots of attack, and an HP boost. And then he has the added effect of this character's own normal attacks are super effective against all types. So being super effective against all types with a 4.75 times multiplier, this is so key, because what this means is that anytime you activate a color affinity special, Bullet can abuse it, because he's always super effective, which means that color affinity is always going to be active. This is why this character is as good as what he is. Now, his special ability at 15 turn cooldown is quite excessive. However, when the limit break expansion does eventually come out, he does get -1 cooldown, which is pretty big. But what it does is it cuts all enemies' HP by 20%, and that bypasses defensive effects like barriers and thresholds, etc. And then it also will deal 2 times the damage that he dealt by his own normal attacks in typeless damage to all enemies at the end of the turn. So basically the way that it works is if you activate the special and this character's normal attacks does like 1,000,000 damage, then the end of turn damage will do an additional 2,000,000 damage to all enemies. And you can abuse the hell out of this, because remember, he's super effective against all types with a 4.75 times multiplier. This character's normal attacks just do absurd amounts of damage, which in turn makes his special, again, do an insane amount of damage. It is really good. So this character is mainly used as a captain. He doesn't see that much play as a sub, but with that powerful captain effect, you're most likely going to be using him as a captain in a lot of circumstances. He does have a great support as well, to any strength, quick, or int character, adding 9% base stats, and with his stats that he has, absurd amounts of damage can be added to any character that he can support. So this character across the board is just a phenomenal character. And as I said, I feel like if you don't go for him for, 210 rainbow gems, I feel like you're kind of missing out on this one. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the showcase. So the first content you're seeing is against Clash Ace, which is definitely one of the better raid bosses in the game, and consistently I tell people to make sure you farm up this guy. He's an exceptional character, and I'm pretty sure that whenever he's available, if you clear him for the first time, you get access to the piece of Spadil, which is the Spade pirate ship. That's a really good ship, by the way. It's a free spirit, powerhouse, and a fighter boosting ship, and you can actually use it with Douglas Bullet because Bullet himself is a fighter, so there's some really cool stuff that you can do with that ship, which I have used previously. But for this specific content, you need a damage reducer for the final boss fight, and in this circumstance here, this is an example of a piece of content where his special, Bullet's special, is basically useless because normal attacks only is inflicted here, and of all the legends in the game that get hindered by normal attacks only, Bullet is the best one still in that piece of content because his captain ability is so good. When you look at like Legend Kaido, for example, under normal attacks only, he's just a flat 4x captain with some health. That's basically all he does. He doesn't give you beneficial slots. He doesn't do anything else. V2 Katakuri, you need type advantage in order for him to get a high multiplier. For V2 Dofi, he's only a driven captain and he gives you some beneficial slots, but being restricted to only driven really hinders that type of character. But then with Bullet, under normal attacks only, yeah, his special becomes useless, like some of those other characters that we just talked about. But his captain effect is still godly, which is one of the great things about this guy and why I still consider him to be a tier 0 character despite the prevalence of normal attacks only in One Piece Treasure Cruise. A character that you'll see quite often in these teams is Treasure Map Big Mom. She's just an exceptional character, giving you the full G slots, the orb boost, the attack boost, and the color affinity, which, as we've already established, Bullet is able to abuse any type of color affinity that gets inflicted to your team. So that's a big benefit there. So TM Big Mom is one of the best treasure map units in the game, just bar none, and she's basically used a lot by one of the best legends in the game. So if you have that combination, it's extremely deadly, right? So make sure to get her done. I'll be probably uploading a new video sometime soon talking about which are the best treasure map characters to pick up, and TM Big Mom is definitely like in the top 5 best TM units in the game for sure. We're up against Ambush Cavendish here just because it was available right after I cleared Raid Ace, and you know, Ambush Cavendish is a pretty old piece of content now, so it's relatively easy no matter what the team that you use to go through it with. But once again, I just wanted to showcase it off just because, you know, it's content that was available that I was able to take on, so that's pretty cool. But the next piece of content you guys will be seeing is against Colosseum Law. This is the Stampede related Colosseum that came out at the time against Trafalgar Law. This Colosseum is actually a bit tricky. There's lots of really annoying things that you have to take into consideration. Specifically stage 4, there's lots of really annoying things that happen there, and you'll be seeing how odd this team is. I cannot take credit for this team. Massive shout out to someone on Game With. I'm not really 100% sure as to who the original creator of this team was, but what's really interesting is on the final boss fight, Law basically says you're not allowed to bring an attack boost, or you can't use an attack boosting effect. So what we're doing here is we have the Raid Shiki as a support character attached to one of our characters here. I think it's attached to the Zoro. And what happens is that applies an attack boost. Now the thing here is that when we use Big Mom's special, then after that, Big Mom will actually remove your beneficial effects and then apply an attack boost and orb boost in the color affinity. And even though it removes your attack boost that you got from your support effect and then applies a new attack boost, it still doesn't trigger the Trafalgar Law interrupt. I'm not really too sure if that's a glitch or if it's meant to be programmed that way, but that's a really nice way to get around it. I had no idea that was a thing. So if you have some sort of support effect and then use Big Mom to override that, it actually will not trigger interrupts. Very, very nice thing to do here. And Trafalgar Law does revive, so we need to ensure that we actually save one slot for our Bullet so that he can hit really, really hard on the revive, and you guys will be seeing how that works out. But as for the rest of the units here, TM Ace is another great TM unit for Bullet because he gives you the full board of strength slots, and when Bullet's your captain, they're going to be beneficial to your entire team. And the Ace also boosts the attack of quick units, so you know, he doesn't boost the int characters that Bullet would boost with his captain effect, but TM Ace is still a pretty good option as a unit to bring for this team. And then Raid Zoro is one of the best free-to-play units in the game, arguably one of the best clashes in the game. I think he is the best clash in the game. Zoro is great because not only does he have amazing abilities to remove defensive effects off of the enemy, but he also can provide your slashers and driven characters color affinity, which of course Douglas Bullet can abuse any type of color affinity that boosts him. So again, one of the great units to be bringing here. And then also we're bringing the Colosseum Magellan to get around stage 3 just a little bit easier. Another phenomenal free-to-play unit to be bringing. But that's also one of the great benefits of Bullet, just in general, is the fact that he has such a large array of characters that he can boost. Essentially, 60% of the game, give or take, because he boosts 3 of the 5 colors. So give or take, 60% of the game he can boost with his captain effect. And that's huge because there are so many characters you can put on his teams that either to remove utility or to apply utility to get rid of buffs and debuffs, or you can bring characters to just boost your team's damage output to enhance the amount of damage that Bullet can do with his special. There's lots that you can do here. In the final clip that you're seeing here is against the Garp challenge against the Heavenly Demon #1, using Bullet as the captain, and this team is a full driven team and is also a strength team. So this actually clears 2 of the missions at once. So if you are looking once again to clear the missions and you need a driven team, this is a pretty good team to go with because, as I said, it does clear 2 teams at once, or 2 different variations at once. Now, as for this team, we have Strusen for despair removal. We also have Higuma for despair removal, but he can be replaced by any other unit that removes despair that's also a strength-driven unit. It does not have to be Higuma specifically. The NL is great here, and then as well as the switch ability of the Akainu and Fujitora is phenomenal, just giving your team consistently 1.5 times orb boost, because it's an orb boost for strength, int, and dex characters, so it works perfectly for this team. And we can also use it a little later on to help clear out some mob characters. It's just really, really good. Another thing about Douglas Bullet that you need to think about as well is PvP is coming out very soon to One Piece Treasure Cruise Global, and on JP, Bullet is one of the top 5 most used characters on PvP. He has an amazing special in that specific game mode where he can basically target lock the enemies to himself. So every time the enemy attacks, they have to hit Bullet, and I think Bullet has the highest HP out of anyone in PvP. So he's able to tank a lot of hits and protect your other characters on PvP from being hit. So he's an amazing character for the upcoming game mode that should be coming out within the next 2 to 3 months. So look forward to that. So that is another really good reason to try and pick up this character right now. And also the fact is that eventually once, Snake Man and Sabo come out, we're talking about the 6th anniversary that arrived on JP, should be arriving within the next, 2 to 3 months on Global, I would assume. Probably in the next 3 months on Global. This character, Douglas Bullet, works very, very well with almost all of those characters that release during that event period. With Snake Man, of course, the fact is you want to be running mono strength, and Douglas Bullet is able to facilitate that. And then also Sabo, who doesn't see that much play. I'm not really a big fan of Sabo personally, but I know many people out there are huge Sabo fanboys, but that anniversary Sabo, he definitely has a few issues, but the thing is he actually works exceptionally well as a hybrid captain with Douglas Bullet, because if you guys don't know, that Sabo, his special is a color affinity booster, but it's only for strength characters, and that's one of the big problems about him. If he was a rainbow color affinity booster, he would be put on so many teams, but that's one of the most unfortunate things about him. And then after you hit a certain amount of perfects, you'll get another color affinity boost in the following turn, and a huge chain boost. So all of those partner so well with Douglas Bullet to ensure that he does the most damage possible. So yeah, that's a really nice hybrid team that you could potentially adopt in the future once those characters release on Global. But just looking forward into the future, because that's one of the great things about Bullet is even though he's really good right now, he's still going to be really good in a few months' time. So this is why I think it's a great investment to pick up this guy now for so cheap. Obviously you could do the 210 gems, and then the next Sugo Fest that comes out, you'll do a 30 gem multi and you could pull him that. You just never know. It's RNG at the end of the day. But look, I do think that this is one of the best deals that has ever come out of One Piece Treasure Cruise history. And I feel like if you have the available gems and you don't do it, I feel like you're kind of missing out very, very big time. So hopefully you guys do take this into consideration about Douglas Bullet. We are going to wrap up the video here today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and if you guys did enjoy it, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I will see you guys within the next video. Oh,